welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Payne. He's just gonna solidify everything from Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're gonna be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Natalie and immediately comes back and finds skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3. So back and forth.
Hello friends, and welcome to Friday Night Overwatch here at CGL. My name is Jeff, here with my very handsome desk today. I got 2 tryhard, right? I got Joker's Ransom. I got the Headrimmer himself here on the desk tonight. Sure to be a good one here. We're what, stage 2, week 3, week 7? I mean, we're moving right along here here this season. How was everybody's week? How's everybody feeling moving into week 7?
Mr. Bullskunk,
Yes, sir.
I just have. What is Headrammer's background?
Oh, I mean,
full screen me.
Somebody clip that. There we go. I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this and make that my background. So we're gonna do that real quick. There we go. Oh, look at that. Producer even helping us out here. This is amazing. All right. But yeah, we got a good matchup tonight. It should be awesome. But before we get into talking about all the nitty gritty here on the desk, God, that's too much. That's too much. Let's play a little game. I feel like playing a little game. And in fact, I feel like playing a couple little games tonight. We'll get into all the technical stuff a little bit later. But first off, we're going into dun. What map is that? Hey, Rimmer, take it away.
Oh, of course. The premier game show of Friday Night Overwatch, I understand. Alright, let's launch what map is that.
Yeah, just throw that little dig.
Yeah, you know, I know.
Yeah.
I know you might have got your own game show, but, you know, we got some more important ones. It's fine. Alright, let me pull out my buzzer here. I forgot
I'm
to change
pulling
the
up
order.
the buzzer as I speak.
Yep, pull the buzzer.
And I will not forget the buzzer this week.
I had the buzzer.
Yes, okay, if you say so.
Okay. And just to get everybody run down, in case you're maybe new here to Friday Night Overwatch, Headrimmer is going to give us a little snippet of a map. And, well, it's going to be up to Ray, Joker, and myself here to guess which map Headrimmer is showing us. If it's a control map, it has to be the sub-map specifically. And also, if all maps are available. So this includes assault maps, this includes deathmatch maps, this includes the training range we've seen in this game before. Headrimmer will pull some creative stuff out, so anything and everything is on the table. The only thing we know is off the table is the gauntlet mode, because we lucked out and glitched out on it. Whew.
I did try. I absolutely tried.
I've never played Gauntlet, so that was bad.
Alright,
Gauntlet's fun. I highly recommend Gauntlet. I actually enjoy it.
does everyone
That's
have the
fun.
buzzer open?
I do.
Buzzer is open.
I
I
do.
pressed the buzz button, so I need.
Alright, I have reset the buzzer for you. Alright, first map. What map is that? Alright, Joker.
Is that Oh my goodness! Wait, it's Dorado, right?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Alright, looks like Bullskunk, you're next.
I'm going to go Blizzard World.
Interesting choice, but no. Ray.
That was actually my guess. So it wasn't Dorado, it wasn't Blizzard World. Is it Esperanza?
No, it's not. It's actually Ilios Lighthouse.
It's the lighthouse?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Everybody looks at the mega. Nobody looks at the bench on the other
I
side.
thought it was Nepal, but then I was like, no, it's not Nepal.
Yeah, I
Damn,
threw that in the.
that's a
I threw it in
tricky
the-
one. That's a tricky one.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
threw
The
in that
bench
little,
should have been the clue.
the map made me think of like Blizzard World, I thought.
Yep, it would. It did.
All right, what map is that?
Feels like a trap.
Joker.
Wall.
No.
Family.
Ray.
Shoot, what is it? Is it Havana?
No.
Dang it.
Bull Skunk.
Chateauguayard.
You are correct.
Oh, it is.
Oh!
I need
Yeah,
to
we
remember
go.
that we're not just the regular maps.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, what map is that? Joker.
Hollywood, right?
No.
Not. Of course it's not.
Bull Skunk.
Rialto.
No.
Oh.
Ray.
Havana?
Correct.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
How many maps have the posters on? Is the real question.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. All right.
Good guess. Good one, Ray. Good one.
What about that one? Bull Skunk.
Kings.
No. Ray.
Hollywood?
Hollywood. Interesting. You're correct.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Point A hotel. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the only option. I thought it was in theater
I
initially.
actually had that on the GeoGuessr game I was playing.
Oh, so the
Ah, your
study
studying paid off.
So
The
he's
studying
cheated.
paid off.
So he's cheating. Okay.
What map is that? Joker.
It's Paris.
No.
No,
What? It's
Bull
not?
Skunk.
that is Esperanza. Spawn.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah, no.
Yeah, you were just faster than me on the buzzer, Bull Skunk. I do that.
Yeah.
What I'm learning is if Joker buzzes in really fast, it's probably not right. I'm sorry.
What?
What map is that?
I have no idea.
Bull Skunk.
New Queen Street.
That was immediate. Okay, I'm impressed. Someone's been hitting the gym in New Queen Street.
No studying. No studying. I mean, I do record my
Yeah.
own games, so there's that. But
Well, all I'm gonna say is Ray was the one studying. I think Bull Skunk was more correct. All right, what about this one? Bull Skunk.
I don't.
Yeah.
I can fold it.
No.
Really, I knew it wasn't right. Like my
Oh man, this one is killing me right here.
I think I know it actually.
All right, Ray.
Is it the Black Forest map?
It is not.
No, it wouldn't.
Really good guess. That's a really good guess.
Oh, goodness. I'm trying to think of green maps.
I will say I'll give one small hint. Ray was on the right general track.
So it's...
Yeah.
Oh no, it's one of those maps.
You got a guess, Joker?
No, I have no idea. I can't think of any of those maps.
All right. So Bull Skunk, it sounds like you know it. Do you know what it is?
Now you know your clue made me second guess myself. No, I don't think I know it. My second
okay.
guess. Yeah, my
Go for
second
it.
guess was. Nah, I don't even think. I was gonna say like Rialto or something. That's not right.
No, it's this one right here.
It's that one. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember the name of that one.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's right there. It's on top left.
Malavento.
Malavento. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It's the deathmatch map I've played the least. I can tell you that.
Okay. You know what? I'll give you an easier one. What map's that? Joker.
Oh. You don't get this, I'm gonna be mad.
Is it
I know, right?
Horizon Lunar Colony?
It is not.
Dang it!
Bull
Control
Skunk.
center.
No.
Really?
Wait,
Ray.
what? It's not Control Center?
No.
Oh, is it Numbani?
No.
No, it's got to still be Lijiang, right?
It wasn't funny. We Busan and
It sounds like you guys are on the tip of your tongue with like a few of these things here, so I'll go give you guys one more try. Joker.
Maccabees.
No.
I'm fairly confident that's not Korean.
Well, you see, as an expert in Asian languages, I can tell you.
No, I'm not by any means. I just, I mean, Billy would be. Billy would know more than I would. But I have done a little studying in Korean, and their characters are tend to be a little simpler.
So you should know exactly what map this is, yeah?
I'm gonna stick with my original guns. Let's go Gardens.
Well, you are correct along that line.
Ah.
Yes. I knew it was Lijiang. It just wasn't on where I originally thought it was. Yeah, it's Gardens.
You just need to get one right, really.
I believe in you, Joker. What map is this? Ray.
Is that Rialto?
No.
No, it's not.
All right, Joker. What is it?
Is it Circle Royale?
You are correct.
Hey,
He's
very
on the
good.
board.
Very good. There we go, Joker.
Ooh, I did it! Yeah.
All right, I got one more for you.
Let's go.
This is for
What map's
all the
that?
marbles.
I gotta reset the buzzer 1 second. There we go. Ray.
Hanamura?
No.
No, that's a good
Oh.
guess, though. The starting arcade.
I freaking know what it is. I think I know what it is.
Ray fell for my bait. What is it, Bullskunk?
Blizzard World.
You are correct.
Yep. As soon as it wasn't that, it was definitely.
It's the only other arcade. Yep.
All right, that is the end of the Superior Game Show.
So I won. We were playing golf, so I won, right?
I thoroughly enjoy that. I
Yeah,
thoroughly enjoy
Bullskunk
that. Oh,
was
wow.
dominating, honestly.
I won
Yep.
because we were playing golf.
Oh, I didn't even
The
know
last
my
one
nose
was-
were-
Honestly, I'm proud of my Black Forest guess. I know it wasn't right, but I was proud of that.
That
one.
was a damn good guess. You were
Not
way
a
closer
bad
than
guess.
anybody else on that one. We're actually relatively on track here with our run of show. That's amazing.
Wow, we need to slow down.
Like- We gotta make sure to just run over game time, of course. Oh, I love that one. Thank you, Headrammer. Thank you for putting that together.
I'm excited to play
that's
your
awesome.
game.
I love that. Yes, we are not done with the games. We have one more coming up. I have put together this will be our third edition here of Name That Sound. So this game we will be playing audio cues from throughout Overwatch, and well, traditionally they have been character related, typically cooldowns or perhaps a reload or an ultimate, something along those lines. And of course, voice lines are removed here. It's just sound effects. But we're doing something a little different this week. We're gonna do map-oriented audio cues. So there's no theme this week. It is, and they're kind of long sound bites. So I think what we're gonna do is keep your same buzzers up.
Can we
just
get an
as a
example
lock-
of what
that's
you
kind
mean
of your
by
lock-in.
map-oriented?
Yes,
Do you have an
these are
example of-
ambient sounds from the map.
Oh, okay.
Just use the buzzer as a lock-in. This isn't a race of who buzzes first. It's just to let me know that you're locked in and you have a guess, and then we'll all reveal at the same time. There we go. So let me pull up my buzzer.
Do you need to write the answers
Hi-
down?
Do I?
Do we write our answers down?
Oh, yes. Yes. You write your answers down and reveal. Just as before. Yes, apologies. I forgot that.
Oh, wait 1 second. I got one text up.
Yeah, I was saying, just throw in a text layer on top of your virtual
I-
camera. Works really
I still
nicely.
have Bob here.
There you go. You can probably shrink your text a little bit. That's going to be a
Make
little
it bigger? Okay.
No, make it smaller, sir. Smaller. How do I...
Is 7 too big? Let's find out. I can't see that at all. I don't know where it went.
Okay. Headroom, I will need your assistance in just resetting the buzzer between rounds. Again, it's not a race.
Using
It's
the
just,
buzzer.
to,
Okay.
it's just to let me know that y'all are locked in.
Okay. Let me find where I put my. I think I closed the tab. 1 second.
I'll
I
take
found it.
control of it next
Boom.
time. I'll take control of it next time. I just
Boom,
I
reset.
forgot to ask that pre-show. Okay. We're just gonna play them once. They are kind of long because it can kind of. A lot of them I would travel through a map, so you'll get different sound cues as the thing goes on.
So
So
we're
that's-
guessing the map.
The map. Just guess what sound the map comes from. That's all I need. And if it's a sub map of like a control map, I only want the map. You don't have to give me a sub map on this one. I think they're gonna be difficult enough as it is. Yeah, I think they're gonna be difficult enough as it is. All right. Let's play the first one. Let's go. Picture it. Where are we? Oh, bit of a truck.
Can we play it one more time?
Well, it's still going.
It's still going.
Oh!
Raymond.
Okay, I think I have my answer. I gotta buzz it in. Let's see.
What map is that?
Oh, you stealing my game title?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
That was copyrighted, patent pending.
Wait,
What is that sound? What map were we just traveling through?
Wait again. I think I know what it is. Wait again.
Should I just put it up on mine?
Just give him the first 10 seconds. There's a big clue in the first 10 seconds. There you go. What was that opening sound? That's a major clue on your map.
Yeah, I think I know what it is. I think.
We got a guess?
I think so.
Hopefully I didn't make these too hard.
Should I put mine up?
All right, what do we think it is? Or reveal your answers. We have Joker saying Busan. We have Headrummer saying Circuit. To Tryhard Ray. What are you thinking?
I got Circuit written down. I'm gonna pull it up. Circuit.
Awfully suspicious. He's just writing it down right
awfully suspicious. All right, correct answer is Circuit Royale. Absolutely. That opening sound is the race cars. And that
I was
crazy
actually
jam in the back
debating
is in the
between
hotel.
that and Oasis
I don't know.
because of the cars on Oasis. But
Right.
The
Oasis was my
music
very
at the,
first
The music
thought.
at the end threw me off.
The hotel. That's yep. And in the trek, it's a bit of a trek through there. So that was running full speed through the map. So you're thinking amount of time it would take to get from the bottom of the chicane to the hotel. Anyway,
I had to bump up my my headset volume quite a lot, so I begged you, please nobody yell. I will die.
yeah,
Wow,
I
okay.
actually tried to record these as loud as I could. I tried. All right.
Should bass boost it.
Yeah, we can. Sounds like our producer could give it a little boost. Yeah, because it's ambient noise in the map, right? It's hard to get at a good volume level. Let's go. Sound number 2. Reset our buzzers, please.
Oh, yeah, that is my job.
What language was that?
See this? You see, sir, I am American. I do not speak any language.
Oh, okay.
Remember to buzz when you're locked in, just so I know. We can go ahead and start revealing answers. There you go. What lands were we just traveling through? We got Joker locked in.
Pretty easy.
This one's in my tongue, but I'm not confident in my answer, and I just put something down.
That's fun.
Pretend I'm
Amazing
buzzed
how much wonderful sound design goes in these maps. All right.
No.
Let's get a reveal. What do we think it is? What is sound number 2? I could not see that, Ray. So Ray says Nambani. We have Joker with Paraíso and Headrummer saying Busan. Joker gets point. That is, in fact, Paraíso. Big jam at the end is walking into Lucio's club.
That makes sense.
Yep.
That was pretty easy.
And it was one of the either Spanish or Portuguese over the. I'm not exactly sure.
I think maybe I get too irrationally angry on that map, but I didn't think of the sounds.
Well, Paraíso is, I think, a Spanish name, even though it's anyway.
Yeah.
They had something. Yeah. I looked that up a while back, but yeah, so it could still be Spanish. Anyway, let's go on to sound number 3.
Okay.
Reset the buzzer.
Where have you heard that music? What style is that? All right. That was land number 3. What battleground was that? What map were we traveling through?
The only one that makes sense, really, for it.
I mean, what did we hear? We heard some birds. It sounded. Maybe we heard some water in there. Maybe.
If it's the control map, we don't have to say what submap.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, we locked in. Hit that big blue button whenever you got an answer down. All right, let's get some reveals. What do we think number 3 is? See, we've got Samoa, Ilios. No points on this one, unfortunately. That was Rialto.
Oh shoot, that one actually was on my mind. I thought it might.
That was Rialto. Yes.
The only reason I didn't put it down was because I heard like all of the bird noises, but I couldn't remember the bird
Yeah,
noises being like
I don't
that.
associate birds with Rialto. That was my only thing.
There's a huge dock in Rialto. What are y'all talking about? There's seagulls all over that map. It's on the back of the museum on point B. That big water dock. Yeah, there's seagulls all over the place back there.
But I try
There's
to
seagulls.
avoid that area because
That's where I end up at the end. So that's what you're hearing is the water and the boats. Is the sounds that you're hearing at the end is on the back of the museum. But that music is very Rialto. That little is pretty indicative of that. Resetting. I made these too hard. Let's play sound number 4. Pay close attention to the final music. What kind of vibe is that? That's your big clue in this one.
it's a vibe I like. But I don't know where it's freaking from.
Yeah, I thought it was.
What are we thinking? We locked in? We got answers?
Locked in is gonna be.
I think, man, what's that sound map edition is more difficult than I anticipated.
Yeah, I can't believe you would do that to us. I would never do that.
You would never, Headrammer. You would never. All right, let's get some answers going here. We're running out of time.
I don't have any guesses, so.
Keep going back to control maps. Oh, that was New Queen Street. That is New Queen Street.
I don't think I would have gotten that either.
Yeah. No, that's it starts in the egg house, and then you go by the gym, the deep boom, boom. That's the gym that you took a photo of.
Yeah.
And then it ends in a coffee shop. So there's very coffee shop music, and it's the only map that has coffee shops on it. Very Canadian.
I think I zoned out every single sound
Esperanza
imagine
has
on
a
that
coffee shop, actually.
Not like a... Wait, does it?
Yeah, in the middle point. Like where.
Okay,
where
well,
the
you
point
could have gotten
starts.
it to 2. If you'd gotten Esperanza and said that was a coffee shop, I would have been impressed. I probably would have given you a point for that one. All right. We'll do our last and final one here. We'll call this the super impossible bonus question. So we're just going to keep a number 5 and ignore
We
number
got
6
1
there,
point.
hippie. Yep. Well, there you go. So our last and final one for the win. Can anybody name this map? What is this sound?
Mine's
Every map in the game.
What is that sound? Where are we?
Is-
Picture it.
But that was
any-
it?
Any map?
That's it.
I couldn't hear anything.
No, that is, well, even that is an Overwatch 2 map. That is in Overwatch 2 as something you would find in quick play or competitive.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So I was about.
I couldn't hear anything.
I thought it was.
There's the thing at the end is really the biggest clue. The little
Hippie, roll
kind
one more
of
time, quick.
kind of ringing noise is your biggest clue. I'll give you a hint. Headrummer, you've given us this as one of your questions before. This has
Yeah,
been in
I was
what
think-
map is that?
I was thinking of a certain one it might be.
Hmm?
I don't remember anything as game goes.
Oh well.
To be fair, at this point, I feel like I've done every map in the game.
Fair. It's that.
I
It's
think
very
I-
unique.
it's one of
It's
two.
unique to this map.
Okay, I'm gonna try this, I guess.
I made it too hard. I
no,
made it too. It's all me. It's all
actually,
me.
Wait, hold on. I want to try this actually.
Ah,
I'll probably just change it away from the answer. I'm gonna be really annoyed.
I did. I probably do. All right.
All right, what do we think it is? What do we think it is? For the win, can anybody figure out what that sound is? Shambali, a really good guess. Super close. What do we got? Coliseum, Shambali, Esperanza? Negative.
Swear to
Across the
God.
board. It was
Mm.
Nepal.
Oh.
No, that was not in the that one.
See,
That was Nepal.
It had to be a snow map, so it was between Shambali,
Correct.
Antarctica,
That is-
or
That was Sanctum. That's the middle of Sanctum is the roaring. That's the middle big part of Sanctum. And then you go outside and it's the wind chimes. And so you get the Nepal wind chimes.
Got it. Okay.
That are very indicative. Yep. That's why I mean that Shambali was a really good guess because the wind chimes are on Shambali too. All right, there you go. I made it too hard for you this time. I'm sorry. I'll have to
I
dial
win.
it down. I'll have to dial it down.
well, I think I win.
Maybe y'all just need to study more. Points across the board. It's a three-way tie.
No,
It's a
I think
three-way tie.
Ray
Nobody
showed that
lost.
studying does not make it better.
Exactly. So I think I win because I came into this blind and still won.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, that does it for our game this week. Let's talk about our matchup. We've got a few minutes, not a whole lot of minutes, but we do have a few minutes. We better talk about what we are here for. We have got an awesome match coming at you around the corner. Krillers taking on Short Bus going on tonight. Let's take a look at our standings. Let's figure out where we're at here. We are again in week 7. This is stage 2, week 3, depending on how you want to look at it. Short Bus coming in here at 6-0. Krillers are 3-3. What are our thoughts on this matchup? Header, I'm going to start with you.
I mean,
Initial impressions.
initial impressions, it's going to be a difficult matchup for Krillers. I mean, as you see right there, Short Bus currently 6-0 with a plus 17 map differential. I mean, they're 10 plus maps above second place right now, the only undefeated team in this group. And, I mean, what can you say? Short Bus has been a dominant team for quite a long time now. Now, the members of Krillers are no joke in themselves, but, I mean, again, Short Bus, no matter what their name implies, they're a large amount to go over.
Ray, how important is this match for Krillers?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to focus on because, thinking about end of season playoffs, just how the seasons have ended before, we tend to take 8 teams normally-ish. and there's 2 divisions, so I guess it'd be top 4 in each. So if Krillers want to be able to make that push to the playoffs, they have to win this game to stay packed with Mizuchi Esports and try and take that 4th seed away. So a loss today, especially in a couple weeks ago on broadcast, they lost to Black on John, so they have to get a win here to keep themselves alive.
Sounds pretty darn important, and oh my goodness, what a difficult matchup to face, and it's something that feels like it could make or break your playoff chances. Let's take a look at our rosters here real quick. We'll start with Short Bus. Break that one up. Fill out the Star City squad. Joker, who am I most scared of here?
Krillers.
Oh, we started with Krillers. Excuse me, my bad. Well, still same question. Who do I keep an eye on in this roster? Who do you think is gonna be the X factor today?
Wavy Creature was really good last time. They were somewhat of a difference maker against Black on John. They had an issue. I believe it was they couldn't connect to the lobby, and then they looked a lot. Their squad looked a lot better with Wavy Creature in against Black on John, even though they didn't really show their best performance. So I think Wavy Creature.
Yeah, it was that map 1. I was looking back at my notes from that matchup. Yeah, and Wavy was out map 1. Then they came back in 1 map 2 when they put Wavy in. So, yeah, that could be the X factor tonight. Let's take a look at the Short Bus roster on the other side. And I mean, this roster is just scary. Raymer, what makes this roster so good?
I mean, what makes this roster so good is a combination of, one, all these players are extremely skilled in their role. At the same time, they can play a large number of heroes, and they have a lot of experience. So essentially, they have their bases covered on almost anything. I mean, Short Bus, all these members have been playing in CGL or tournaments for quite a long time, and there's really only a few rosters that are able to challenge them right now in CGL. I mean, not many of the top console teams don't scrim as much comparatively, just because they play ranked and they're very good. But I do know Short Bus, they go in and play external tournaments regularly as well, and they like to compete, and they're a young roster, and they're willing to put in that time.
Sounds like they take a lot of pride in their squad, and yeah, and it shows. When you put the time in for your scrims and you go play as many tournaments as possible, it will definitely reflect. I mean, you get in what you put out, no doubt. Let's get into final thoughts on this night. Predictions here for tonight. Let's go ahead and pull those up. Ray, I'm going to start with you here. I think, what were your Preds for tonight, and what made you pick your Preds the way they did? Looks like you're showing us 3-0 for Short Bus. It looks like all of us are showing a 3-0 for Short Bus here today. Ray, what made you go that way?
I mean, in the words of Chef Billy Ray, you are a Short Bus fanboy. I definitely am. I've been their biggest defenders against Billy whenever he tries and says someone else is going to compete for that top spot in this division. I've said it like last season, the one team that Short Bus tends to see as like competition at their level, even when they didn't play in the grand finals against each other last season, they both saw it as the grand finals. It was when they played red team. So, I mean, against the Krillers, I wish they could get this win and keep themselves alive, but I don't see them getting past Short Bus.
Joker, on to you. Same Pred. What's the reason behind it?
Ryan guy. He's not even playing right now.
He's not playing.
He's not even playing right now. But I always support the homie Ryan guy. He is my GOAT. He's my Lucio GOAT. I always support Ryan guy.
Hopefully we get Ryan guy subbed in at some point just for you, Joker. Just for
That
you.
man is not showing up. I'm sorry.
I know he's not going to show up.
Right.
I'm sure he won't, but hey.
All right, Headrammer, what 3-0? Give me your reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just all the players on Short Bus are such a dominant team. We saw, and also from what we've previously seen from Krillers, I think Krillers are a good team, and they've shown a lot of promise in a lot of situations, but they've struggled in a lot of those situations where they had to clutch up and like really come together. And Short Bus is not going to give you those chances to take advantage of their mistakes. If they make a mistake or you make a mistake, they're going to be on top of you immediately. And a lot of times the pressure can be fairly overwhelming. And sometimes, the shot light spine's too bright, and you can't handle that pressure. I think their team is good and shows a lot of promise, but I think there's still a few things they need to work on.
An important matchup for the Krillers to keep playoff hopes going, but they have to go up against the Titans of this tier who dominate not just here in CG, but everywhere they go. We'll see if the Krillers can pull out what could be the upset of the season. We're going to hand it over to Shadowfang and Time to Light. Take it away, guys. We kick off this matchup here on Friday Night Overwatch.
Best of 5 in front of us. Thank you very much to everybody on the desk keeping us informed and honestly, the great games. That's my favorite part of the pre-show thus far today. I'm Time to Light. That right there, as mentioned by Bullskunk, is Shadowfang. And today we've got a team that is undefeated up against a team, as Bullskunk also mentioned, is very close to elimination from playoff contention.
Yeah, and you're thinking that, and my thinking with the Pred was basically just, one, I just wanted to pick something different from everybody else, and two, you know, I mean, it's like, it's kind of boring if everybody just picks the same thing. Let me just be a wild card, throw something out there, you know what I mean? But there's also the fact, like you said, they're very close to elimination, so that's gotta put a little bit of urgency in you, and supposing that we get their best performance today, just, you know, out of that pure sense of desperation.
Well, we can take a look at our maps to see where we're headed. Unlike the mid-season tournament seen earlier this month, we are going to a set map pool. Samoa will start things off. We'll head to Hollywood, which was seen in our location-predicting GeoGuessr type game show. New Junk City and East Speranza as well. Later on, I saw the map. I forget it. Give me a second to look at it. I totally have it sitting in front of me. 3, 2, 1. It's Havana. It's also something we saw in our little GeoGuessr game. That is if map 5 is required. I was a little different than the casters. They all said 3-0, or I was a little different than the analysts and our host. They all said 3-0. I said 3-1 just because I like Esperanza. It's more hopium than it is copium. I just want to see push.
And you know, I love an underdog story, like I said. So that's my big play here, you know. And I'd like to see a 5 mapper. There's been a lot of 3-0s lately, so you know, it'd be really nice to see a super competitive series. And we'll see, though. I think Short Buzz has only lost 1 map so far, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
Maybe this is the second. We'll see. Samoa the first map, though. This control map is very up in the air, depending on the team. This is really a map where if Krillers have been playing it recently, not all teams have, they've got a very decent shot at upsetting Short Bus. However, if not, they're just not going to have that much sustainability up against a team that, as the analyst desk mentioned, is just objectively better. We're not seeing Reinhardt today, which I think is an absolute shame. However, we may still see something similar. I think the tanks that I'm really expecting today, I mentioned this earlier before we went on, most likely going to be Junker Queen, Orisa, and probably Sigma. Sigma will come down the line. On here, on Samoa, we may still see Amalga, but with the recent, I'll say, pseudo-nerfs, probably not as much the case.
It wouldn't surprise me to see like the Moira Lucio Malga rush, just because it is still pretty strong to run that Moira Lucio with the Reaper Sombra combo.
Yeah.
It still can just kind of steamroll you once you get caught in those ult cycles. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that. Also, like you said, the Orisa is fairly strong as well. So I honestly, on this particular map, I would expect to see either Maga or Orisa. I don't think we're going to see anything outside of that, unless one of the two teams plays dive and starts winning, because sometimes teams just tend to mirror when, you know, it happens in my comp games even. Like, I'll get somebody that just starts rolling me on Diva, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to just play Diva too. Let's just do that.
It's the Mystery Heroes type counter-swapping game. You ever had that where your tanks play, like, of the however many tanks are available, they play like 80-90%? I saw that in a 1-3 in the first 2 maps. Of the, I think, 10 or 11 tanks that there are in Overwatch 2, we saw 9 of them. And through the 4th map, we saw all 11. It was, I'm going to say statistically improbable, but not absurd here. And to open things up, much to everybody's dismay, we're seeing more Malga.
It's okay, you know, it's sometimes fun to just sit there and constantly hear clicks while you're also lighting everyone on fire. And there is a little bit of something pleasing to getting that heal orb off as Moira and just healing just enough that your Maga doesn't fall over before their Maga does.
We'll see how it works. It is the Mei Tracer up against the Mei Reaper. We've seen a lot of Mei and Sombra recently, alongside a lot of Tracer Sombra, but really anything's up in the air. Sometimes it comes down to comfortability, other times it just comes down to what is objectively the meta. Right now, the tank selection seem to be more what is the meta, the supports and the DPS more what is meta, and a little bit more comfortable. Great bio nade, lands into 3 players, but there's the jump onto Skittleforce, who is very low, gets a very courteous Suzu, but will stay alive for only the time being, and as soon as they try and get out, they'll be seen by 4 of 5 members of Short Bus. Look at all the assists on that opening pick. Dinks will find the second. That should be the first fight, and Short Bus, as expected, will open up with the first cap.
Yeah, shout out to Energy right there. That wall was absolutely massive in really preventing Krillers from keeping Skittleforks up there. They do almost manage to keep him alive, but it was just a little bit too much healing denied. Want to shout out here, Gamer almost has this pulse bomb. Ooh, huge kill.
But Necrise is just gone, and I think so too will the rest of the team. How do you get caught out like that beyond me? Apparently way too many headshots were hit for their own liking. That's a great return fight for Krillers, and a real resurgence into what seemed to be a disastrous first fight.
Yeah, that was honestly a crazy play, and now, don't look now, but Wavy has this Blizzard, and this could be a really easy fight win if this comes out right.
Pulse Bomb plus Blizzard, possibly just one or the other. We'll see which one ends up being used first. It is indeed the Blizzard early. It'll catch out the Mei, as ironic as that may very well seem, but losing them ready may very well be more disastrous, and a Death Blossom will turn into 2. There goes a Coalescence just to put the final nail in this fight. Coffin, cap will go, will be tied up at 27. Just barely. Tracer will delay things, and Krillers will take the lead for 2 seconds, and then they'll lose it once more.
Yeah, really good job getting out of that Blizzard. You would have thought it would have been difficult with with having the Maga there, but they do manage to get away from that. And don't look now, but we're having opposing cage fights. Kriller's going to have both support ults walking into this fight, though. It's going to be really difficult for Short Bus to deal with.
Sound Barrier could be the one thing that could counter both. If the cage fight is there, it could really come down to sectioning power. And with now the mirrored Reapers, it's about as even as things get. Gamer did use out what was a Pulse Bomb, and an unsuccessful one at that. There's the Nano on towards the Mauga, and the jump in. They missed the jump! No! They cannot set that up worse! But the cage there for Necrise will be inconsequential, to understate the obvious. An even better one there for Battle Forks. They'll use it into full effect, but the Sound Barrier, that's the counter they were looking for. Kitsune Rush, it's a game of who can press Q better. Sleep will miss, but it may not matter at the end of the day. And there's the resurgence through for the Krillers. They will walk in and become the Killers. Unfortunately, they're also the killed, as Skittleforks will fall. Shouldn't be all that consequential, but losing Skittleforks there removes a lot of your section ability about this, what is an attacking side. They still have yet to cap the point, even though this fight has been going on for well too much time, and a countered out Death Blossom. Gamer tried to use it, they got Ajaxed out of it by the jump in from the Mauga. How in the world that tech works is beyond me. Gamer will actually die to the distance right click of Ricky, and finally the Krillers will cap. It only took them till Overwatch 3 was released.
Yeah, that was an insanely long fight, quite frankly. Both Death Blossoms do come out, though, so now we're really just looking at opposing Blizzards, and this Coalescence from Ricky might be the difference for Short Bus to take this map in this next fight if they get really aggressive here.
Ricky was the first one to use a support ultimate, is also the first one to build up their second. This is a big fight for them to try and set it up. Dinks, I believe, was seen, but maybe not. Gamer somehow lives on a singular point of HP. Somebody looked in their general direction after fading out, they would have died. Blizzard use will catch out the Reaper, say goodbye. They're not going to live very long through that one. Coalescence from the side, good countering ultimate, but nothing consequential found. They'll be slept, everybody looks their general direction, and say goodbye to your Moira. Final fight territory now about to be on the cards for the Krillers, and we're looking at a very contentious first point.
Yeah, this is a really, really close fight so far. Energy's Blizzard is going to be absolutely massive here. You got to think that it's going to be up to Boostio here to catch this Suzu for anybody that might get caught out by this Blizzard.
They need to dive the backline. Krillers are about to have both support ultimates online again, and Dinks is already gone. This fight may very well go to the Krillers and the subsequent point itself as well. Nano on the board, so too is the Kitsune Rush in the next 2 seconds, and there goes the Nano onto Gamer. They may very well be able to build up that Death Blossom if they're given the time to do so. Blizzard finds absolutely nothing other than thin air, and that may very well be the point itself. Overtime wick will tick away, and the Krillers are up 1-0. Granted, it's in points, not in maps, but a lead's a lead is a lead.
Well, like I said, that sense of desperation can bring out some really strong play from you that you've never seen before, you know? And it was really just, I think Short Bus's chance to win was that particular fight we were talking about where they came in with the Coalescence. They just managed to get caught out and weren't quite able to cap. The Reaper from Gamer here was really, really good to counter out what Dinks was doing on their own Reaper. Really strong play, honestly.
Here's the stats through 1 point of Samoa. Wavy Creature leading the eliminations tally, but it is Skittleforks leading the damage tally. Healing across the board's fairly even for the supports, but it seemed like the Krillers had a little bit of a lead, considering they're running, well, the combo of Kiriko, Ana. It's kind of to be expected, but the fact that it's as different as it is right now is the difference maker. The ultimate rotations just seem to be objectively better for Krillers, though, and that has to continue to be the case for them if they want to sustain through this second point, and it may not be, considering they've already lost their Kiriko. Say goodbye to your Ana. That dive has finally started to work. I think they realized they were targeting the wrong people, and afterwards they're clean and clear to at least start to cap. First, they will do so once more indeed.
Yeah, it seems like Dinks swapping onto this Tracer is going to get a lot more value here. Dinks immediately catching out Boostio in that first fight, and look at that, they're already like 70% of their Pulse Bomb just off of one fight. I mean, that's crazy high
Like
value
40
on
seconds.
that Tracer. Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, if you hold that, you're on track to pick up like 4 Pulse Bombs per point. It's not gonna happen, but it's still statistically improbable. Dinks is, again, 10% away from it. That could be the fight opener, especially this early. You're not really ult-tracking a Tracer to be that high up into their Pulse Bomb this early. Watch for that Tracer to pop it first. They can find an opening pick. It is Krillers just completely sectioned away. Good ball will create some space, but nothing consequential, and NRG finds 2 to open things up. Just about as success, or as much success, as the organization at the Copenhagen Rocket League Major right now. Clean and clear. That's what it is.
Pulse Bomb does come out from Dinks, and I don't think it really caught anything, but as a result of them of a Short Bus just kind of rolling this fight, they're going to have Blizzard and Coalescence up, and you honestly don't need to use both of those things, but you could very well use both of those ultimates if you really want to. I think Energy is going to get a really big Blizzard here, though.
I wouldn't hate using it early. If you get into a good spot, use it before you either lose it or you can get countered by it easier. NRG very low will actually be the first one to fall here, and that seems to be the go button pressed for the Krillers. What that timing looks like for them is the real question. 70% already gained for the Short Bus. Coalescence, the first one used by Ready, but how much do they find with it? The jump in the back line, so low is Neck Rise, but they will live at least through that first opening part of the fight. Pulse Bomb used, won't find a stick. Mimic will pull off that sound barrier and will survive through the opening part of that fight, and Neck Rise will do the same. The cage popped, they find 2 in the process. It will be a delay on the point for Wavy Creature, but the cap back for Short Bus, and an astounding fight for them to hold with 4 ultimates utilized.
Yeah, plus side here for Krillers, though, that would have been last fight if you don't flip that, so
Yeah,
you at least get another fight out of it. And you're walking in with Kitsune, Death Blossom, and Cage Vice. You have a lot here, but Energy still has this Blizzard, and it could be absolutely massive with those ults wanting everybody to group up for the side of Krillers.
It's the Kitsune Rush that may have to be the catalyst to this success. There is the cage fight. It catches absolutely nobody. Kitsune Rush as well. Short Bus are socially distancing themselves from it, and there goes that Blizzard you were talking about. Skittleforks, sorry, not Battleforks, will be Kitsune'd out of that one. Death Blossom finds 3, however, in the process, and Ricky will just end up dying for their sustainability. Krillers will cap back. It takes all 3 of their remaining ultimates, though. Luckily, 2 are still very much on the way.
Yeah, that was a really expensive fight, but like you said, it's last fight territory, so you have to be super proactive in what you're doing here. You need to engage first into these next fights if you're Krillers.
18 elims per 10 for Gamer, but the problem is we haven't even played 10 minutes, and they are still about as high up as they can be. Good Suzu, but Dinks already finds the opening. Sound barrier almost on the board here for Mimic. That could very well end this second point, and the cap already there. That may be the difference maker. Skittleforks gets out, but they're still seen by everybody and their mother. They'll fall. Coalescence is popped. Nobody will be able to survive, and the Blizzard wasn't even deployed in the process of them trying to do so. I'm ready. Won't even get to the point to secure that second opportunity. At overtime, Short Bus will force us to a third. Samoa not done with it just yet.
Yeah, we're going to have a third point here, like you mentioned. And the big change there that has to be pointed out, Dinks is getting these first picks onto one of these two backliners almost every single fight that Krillers is losing. So Krillers is going to have to figure out how to deal with this Tracer of Dinks, because if I'm Dinks, I'm going to keep being Tracer until you deal with the fact that I'm doing this.
I wasn't surprised that they didn't play Tracer on first point. I was pleasantly happy to see them do so on second, because Tracer honestly just finds so much more viability against some of these backline heroes. Stats keep about the same notion, a little bit more favored towards short bus through 2 points though. Gamer makes a swap onto the Cassidy. Boostio will go on towards the Lucio, surprising absolutely nobody, but the only swaps for short bus happened between points 1 and 2. They sustained through 3. Oh, say goodbye to Wavy Creature. They're gonna get one clipped. I give it 3 seconds. And oh my goodness, they get a ice block off. And they win the fight? How does Dinks die there? Wait a second.
Is that a caster curse?
That's gotta be a caster's curse. There's no way you don't get one clip and then you win the fight. It's not supposed to happen. I don't know. Gamer finds a follow-up on the Mimic, so the backline, less viability for short bus, and that ice block is only going to delay the inevitable. Mistimed magnetic grenade, but I don't see a way in which energy survives through this. They will get back to the rest of their support, so there is still a way for them to return. First cap available for Krillers. They will cap first for the first time in this map of Samoa. That wall forces Skittlefork so far forward, though. They may be lucky to get out alive, and they will just barely. Necrise is actually the Malga to fall, as the Malgas continue that mirror through Samoa. It seems like that seems to be a trend on this map, but how much sustainability do the short bus have with that lack of a frontline Malga?
Yeah, and a big thing here is Boostio already has this sound barrier because of how early Umredi went down, and I think it's going to be a necessary sound barrier to deal with these ults coming out from short bus.
Already the coalescence used by Ricky. Sound barrier going to be prepped, will be thrown through. No Ajax to come through here. Deadeye popped will section off nearly everything for the short bus. They cannot play out in the open, but that timing, it won't actually find any lethal damage, and that could be the difference maker. Gamer trying to play for as much as they can. They still have not done damage since popping the Deadeye, but they don't have to do so. Boostio will find the first pick. Dinks will fall after swapping onto their third DPS hero of the game. But that Blizzard, the Venn diagram of Blizzards now, seems to be favoring the Krillers. Short bus do find one on the Wavy Creature, catching him out before that Blizzard's fully popped, but Necrise cages themselves in, and it's call an ambulance, but not for Skittleforks, as the fight will continue to go Krillers' way. Somehow Skittleforks is now the only one alive, though, and at the end of the day, Short bus will cap? How in the world does that go their way?
Yeah, so basically the cage did catch a lot of the players from Krillers in it, so it made them easy targets for everyone else that was on short bus. So Necrise basically gave their life to hold everyone still and put them in a kill box, essentially, for the rest of their team to kill.
So it was call an ambulance for them, I guess.
Eventually.
The meme didn't land as soon as it started to go short bus's way. We'll also see our first tank swap of this one. Necrise will go on to the Orisa. I like the decision. You're just really not finding what you need with the Malga. And luckily enough, your cage from that previous fight ended up finding effect before you made the swap. Skittleforks forced the backline. They're being hunted down, though, and this hunt seems fairly good. Even better Javelin, and the pin just the same. Say goodbye to your Malga before the cage even had an opportunity to pop. Dinks and Ricky combining for 2, make it 3, make it 4. Short bus very well on the way to try and closing out this map in their favor.
Yeah, and I mean, look at it. Short bus is about to run into 4 ultimates for their next fight here. Krillers, if you're Krillers, you need to kind of use this cage fight here, but you also have to walk into this sound barrier of Mimic, so this is going to be a tough fight to win for Krillers.
I would love to see cage fight into Deadeye and catch everybody out. Try as much as you can with that all-important ultimate. There's the Deadeye. It could be sectioning early, but walled off, it finds absolutely nothing. Gamer even went the wrong way. Nobody took out the wall, and Gamer's ultimate finds quite literally nothing. That could not be understated. Now the cage fight only preps 1, and Diggs' Deadeye finds one of his own. This seemed to be disastrous for Krillers to open. The sound barrier doing absolutely nothing other than delaying the inevitable. Shots are being landed for Dinks. He even tries to shoot the magnetic grenade, but you can't go skeet shooting with utility. The Diva popped. I don't even think they'll have the time to touch. Short bus, everything started to go their way. As soon as the Krillers approached 80%, they won't even get to that 80% margin. Short bus, they will open up well. The desks seem to be right. It's map 1 to go their way.
Yeah, really close map, though, from the side of Krillers. And really, that swap by Necryze over to Orisa, it really just denied any value that the Mauga could get. Because again, the strongest thing you can do as Mauga is constantly shoot the other tank. So what do? You make it to where it's not a good idea to shoot the other tank, that being Orisa. So, so it's really, really easy to get rid of the tank's value there.
You know, after these replays, I really want to see what the stats looked like, because Krillers were leading in almost every category after first point, even though it was about as close as things could have gotten. And yet, after second and third, those points were significantly less close. What, 100 to 30 and then 100 to 80 or so? This is a completely big turnaround for Short Bus, especially on that third point, where they seemed to be down and out of it. And then one fight turned the tides of everything, and the swap from the Mauga, who ironically enough found effect while they weren't alive, to the Orisa, who only found effect while they were alive, was the biggest difference maker. That's what changed this game for Short Bus.
Yeah, absolutely. That, and then I got to shout out Dinks on that Tracer on map 2. Krillers was just able to do absolutely nothing about that flank whatsoever.
And third point, they didn't need a flank, so the understandable swap on towards this Cassidy, the Deadeye. Oh, it actually found a kill and damage onto the Mauga. That's the reason they died so easily. And the couple kills you saw at the end of the day, clean as could be. Necryze, 16,000 damage through 3 points. Dinks hit to almost 15,000. The next closest was Skittleforks on 14,600. Gamer could have done a little bit more, so could Wavy Creature, but honestly, about as even as things get until you hit the supports. Ricky with 20,000 healing on his own.
Let's shout out the damage as well while we're at it. You know, you're getting almost 8k from your Moira, you're getting 7k from your Lucio, and just that being compared to the other side, the damage numbers are just far, far lower from the supports. And that little bit of extra damage, fight after fight after fight, it can result in characters being a lot lower over the course of a fight. Just that little bit of tick damage. You're hitting those Cheerios on Lucio consistently, that's a lot of damage.
You can see the individuals in NRG and Wavy Creature, they sustained the maze through and through. We'll see the comparison between them. Eliminations per 10 favored NRG by about 3. Eliminations total favored NRG by 4 total. And the damage done per 10 minutes, really good for NRG. But the biggest number here, and the biggest deficit arguably, was 4.6 deaths per 10 minutes, which was, give or take, 7 deaths total. And then 6.9 deaths per 10 minutes, which was almost 11 deaths total. NRG, because of those supports, seemed to have so much more sustainability as an individual, and because of it, their team had so much more of a skill gap as a squad.
Yeah, still a really strong performance though from the side of Krillers. That could have went their way. Specifically, point number 3, it definitely could have went their way. So this could still be a close game on our hands. Krillers just needs to take one map. If Krillers can take one map, it'll give them the confidence pushing forward, I think.
Hey, if Krillers take only one map, I'm the only one correct today. That's what I'm hoping for. I said 3-1 to Short Bus. I'm sticking with that. We'll see what maps they will try and take that first map on, or at least what individual map they'll look to take that first on. Hollywood is next. And I gotta say, this one, in terms of playstyle, still favors Short Bus. Also because they're just objectively more mechanically skilled. But the difference maker could be that second point to see what changes for that defensive side. If second point is a well-held second point for Short Bus, then we could see Krillers return, because in more open fighting, they seem to have better prowess, like we saw first point of our last map. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll just have to wait to see Hollywood to find out.
Well, and we still haven't seen Krillers come off of this Mauga comp. Also got to shout out, Pizza is coming in on that DPS line with, you know, just the best name possible. Like, you gotta love that name, right?
It's the full name, by the way, is I believe Pizza Hut Offie or something like that. It's like Pizza Hut and coffee combined. It's very difficult to.
I was thinking it was supposed to be Pizza Hut official. It just, you can't put that many letters into a battle tag, but maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that seems like a lot more reasonable. I was just thinking that because I had coffee earlier.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pizza is coming in to play like an Ashe or you know, some sort of hit scan type of character, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know. We'll have to see what they come in here for, but it looks like we're going to be seeing a Sigma comp from the side of Krillers.
So they'll open up on the Ashe, at least to start here. That's not absurd, but I mean, according to most played heroes and favorite heroes, Wavy Creature's answer to both was Sojourn, and Pizza Hut officials was Mei. So, you'd expect them to play a map like, I don't know, Samoa, where you play exclusively Mei on your projectile DPS for the entirety of the map. I don't know why they didn't. Maybe they just think Wavy Creature's been better on the Mei recently. We'll find out if that's actually the case later on. But NRG making the swap, what looks to be onto the Genji, which I would not say is an absurd decision. We're seeing a Genji mirror, but a Tracer versus that Ashe. If the Tracer can backline, we already know how this could go.
Yeah, absolutely. But in that same breath, the Tracer has to go up against Bap and Alari. You get shot one time by Alari, you force recall out.
Yeah, and those cooldowns are the all-important factor for the Tracer. We didn't see them forced out as early in our previous map. Necrise jumps in, is like, absolutely not, I'm jumping right back out. Dinks has at least found the healing pylon, so maybe that backline could start to work. Already forcing out that immortality field, and Necrise finds 3? How in the world does that pop as soon as 3 players are forced into the wall? Arguably the quickest cap I'll see on Hollywood in a little while. Arguably also the first time I've seen Hollywood in a little while. But Short Bus will cap within 50 seconds.
That was just a really strong setup, and that's what playing a Doomfist comp, a dive comp in general, is all about. It's about your setups. And your 2 DPS heroes set this up perfectly. You can see the Lucio's in there speeding people around as well. This is all setup. When you set up well for a dive comp, you make your players look good like that.
Arguably, it's 80% setup and 20% actual work. At least at the end of the day. We'll see the jump into the back line. 3 players just hit with that slam, and everybody being forced off that high ground. Things are becoming a lot more problematic for Krillers. If their preset setups don't have as much sustainability, they can't even spend that much time there. Necrise is forced off, so at least something starts to go the way of the Krillers. But because they had lost that fight so much earlier, and they were forced to set up so much later in this one, they haven't been able to stick on this high ground. It's a game of elevators. Who's playing Chutes and Ladders better? Everybody's just being annoyed on the Krillers' defensive side. Skittleforks has been forced into the backline. Immortality field already dedicated, and Skittleforks doesn't even know who they're fighting. It seems like they're punching at thin air because arguably they are. Necrise should be able to find out the backline at Gamer. They will indeed. And Shortbus, it's like Coughing Baby and Hydrogen Bomb. Am I watching Oppenheimer all over again?
Oh my lord, you very well could be. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Punch. Oh no. I thought there was going to be a crazy one right there. This is just begging for a Doom Punch. Good pin, though, by Skittleforks to stop
3,
this push.
2, 1. Nobody touched. Oh, no, they did touch. That was about as close as it could have been. 21 centimeters the difference. Dragon Blade and Pulse Bomb popped as we see a bit of refracting on the screen. It seems like things are starting to go the way of the Krillers. As soon as you dispatch that Doomfist, there's much more sustainability. Everybody falls. There we go. We heard it. We didn't see it. Maybe that's the reason we played the sound game in the pre-show.
Well, if you're the side of Shortbus, though, you burn 4 ultimates in that fight to not win, so... you know, hold on just a minute now. If you can set your team up really well in this early fight, all you have to combat with is a Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, but just a Kitsune Rush is a very big factor of a game, especially when Pizza Hut dies very early. That could very well be this one done and dusted. It comes down to how long that Reinhardt can stick around. They haven't really been forced out of anything. No cooldowns for the backline forced out either. That Immortality field, say goodbye to it for Boostio. It doesn't seem like it's all that successful for Shortbus. Only that Kitsune Rush seemed to actually be the case.
Yeah, and you managed to get the window out of Krillers, and looks like Pizza Hut has swapped over to this Tracer as well, which I actually do like. You know, you're going to have a little bit more mobility, able to get on this backline a little bit better potentially. And Krillers now has a Kitsune Rush and a Deadeye. You ever see how fast that thing charges in a Kitsune? It's kind of fun, actually.
It's scary, especially when you're playing up against a very good Kiriko. If that Kiriko hits enough, either healing or shots, they could be just themselves a good player. Dinks will one-tap Boostio with a lot of help from their Genji earlier on. Watch for a fist close range, a very powerful one at that. The Reinhardt does not have as much power inside close rooms as they think, and somehow they go flying into thin air, gravity irrespective when you start to ragdoll away. That should just about be this second point gone. It is indeed. Took a little bit longer than Shortbus would have liked, but still 4 minutes to cap third point. Nothing to scoff at for their side.
Yeah, absolutely. Boostio getting caught out early there was just an easy go sign for Shortbus, and then they're just pushing it on through. And now you see Dinks swapping onto this Torb to kind of troll Pizza Hut. You know, you love to see it, honestly. Maybe we'll get to see a hammer kill from Dinks. I wouldn't be mad at that.
28 eliminations per 10 minutes. I mean, even if that number starts to decline, that's still statistically improbable in this first map. Deadeye pop. There goes the Shatter. How much does it find? Nearly everything they need. Dinks and NRG both fall in the same singular wave of the hammer. And Short Bus will quickly be forced back towards or to their spawn doors. First minute gone of that time bank that was regenerated, and Krillers are already very happy with how it's gone.
That honestly might be my favorite Deadeye I've ever seen. You just shatter two players, stand in front of them with Deadeye. That is honestly hilarious. Like, what?
Hey, just a top line Randy Orton type RKO alongside your Shatter. Sometimes all you need. Another 20-30 seconds gone. Short Bus had found very little point pressure with this, but something to note, Krillers using 2 ultimates in that engagement does force out a lot more from them than maybe they would have liked. And Short Bus really happy to play for more space at this point. They haven't been forced to do too much early. Dragon Blade's available. It could go into the backline. Decides better of it, but NRG didn't think better of it early enough, and they will quickly be taken care of. And Necry's now being hunted down by 3 or 4 different players. They'll have to back away. With the lack of NRG, they don't have as much ability to stick around. They'll have to back away, and they do. Fully so.
Yeah, Kriller's doing a good job of just forcing Short Bus back, but they're going to have 3-4 ultimates coming out from Short Bus here. It's going to be hard to not get overwhelmed.
How do they focus? That's the real question. Dragon Blade, Kitsune, Sound Barrier, the kitchen sink, the whole 9 yards, everything you could describe as everything and more. And Short Bus dedicate nearly everything they had, at least enough to get significantly more on this point. Pressure, good melee from Mimic is actually the one to find the final blow there. Short Bus want to try and finish out this point with that fight gone. Ready will just now respawn. Kitsune Rush is coming back online, but the welcome mat thrown through by Dinks, that could be everything they need. Right click almost lands on towards that Tracer, but it won't be required. A snowballed third fight into a point cap. I thought that was going to last significantly longer than it did. Not only do Short Bus cap, but they cap with above a minute left, which is the real litmus test they needed on a map like Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I do want to point out is one of the big reasons I think Krillers was losing there is because that was 2 points in a row where one of their supports just gets caught out. And that's kind of been the story so far, is one of either Boostio or Umredi is getting caught out by the side of Short Bus, and it's just steamrolling. Yeah, here it is right here. Boostio gets caught out right there, and that's when second point was just lost right there.
I feel like the same case, yeah, like you said, was happening over on third point as well. It's not when NRG dies, but it's when they respawn. Everybody just presses Q on the Short Bus side to open up that fight, and then they just walk all over Krillers. And then Dinks had the welcome mat available to just throw everywhere they wanted as they were capping third point. There's only so much stall factor you can have when you can't literally stall. I want to focus on 2 things with these stats. Number 1, everybody's on double digits for Short Bus. Nobody is on double digits for Krillers. And the final blow numbers, if I'm tallying this correctly, 15 total final blows for Krillers. Which, if you all are mathematicians, that's 3 fights. They win 3 fights worth of kills.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So really holding them down to 1:18 on the time clock, pretty solid.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, if we're looking at those numbers. You see Umredi has selected this Life Weaver, so, you know, this is one of the comps I've ever seen when I've been casting right here. From the
Life Weaver Widow, and the Widow finds an opening. Okay, well, Ricky's dead. That's a good start if I've ever seen one. How in the world this finds as much payload as it does? Pizza Hut official will not survive the backline, though. And this cap, if they find a first tick, it's good. If they can't, maybe not so much. Necryze will counterpin out with Skittleforks, who will not survive very long. Say goodbye to your Reinhardt. Give it a second. Now say goodbye to your Reinhardt. Lucio will fall as well, and basically nothing done in that first fight, other than an opening pick.
Yeah, I mean, really solid shot from the side of Pizza Hut, but then, you know, you immediately get attacked by a full health Doomfist. I mean, what are you going to do as Widowmaker? You know, Widow 76, a 400 health Doomfist down? Probably not.
Widow 76. I've never heard that before. How have I never heard that before? That's pretty good. As a soldier, man, that makes me giggle. As a soldier, one trick that makes me giggle. It's Krillers going high ground here. Usually you don't see a Reinhardt unless it's combined with some sort of movement ability hero. Usually it's combined with a Symmetra. Occasionally, and I say occasionally, you'll see the Life Weaver. This is one of the few times I've actually seen a Life Weaver. But the Hindrance Grenade onto Necrise, they tried to set up a punch inside the small room. They didn't actually have the movement to do so. And because of it, they'll end up falling. And an odd position for Short Bus to be in. They need to still defend this first point, but they don't have that team sustainability to do so with the loss of that Doomfist. Now, Sun used as absolutely nothing found with it, but Gamer will still fall, courtesy of NRG, who actually finds 2 in the process. The Tree of Life thrown in the middle of this point, and Mimic hunted down by everybody and their mother. Krillers finally finding something sustainable to go with them. Deadeye tries to be popped here. It'll find the Lucio, at least a step in the right direction for the defensive side. And they're starting to hunt down that Reinhardt as well. Damage done, kill as well. NRG, the catalyst to a successful defend, but it is 2 ticks found for the Krillers.
I mean, I think if you're gonna run this Reinhardt, you need to probably run something other than this Life Weaver for it. And yeah, the Ana is a swap for sure.
No, they didn't. Okay, they just stood there.
Oh, no?
I was like, did they just disconnect in the middle of that? Here's another insane stat. 20 elims per 10 for Cassidy, at least for the NRG as Cassidy. We'll see what more they can find with it. Hindrance Grenade lands. Nothing lethal there, but still certainly impactful. This high ground playing perfectly for them. You can see why they're picking up so many elims. It's because they can just hunt down players like that. It looks like they have aim assist. What is that from NRG? I wish I was that good.
Yeah, right. It would be nice for sure. And again, with the ult exchange here, we're looking at a lot of ults from both sides. Who is Forks shattering here? You gotta go for NRG, right?
You have to, but can you find energy? That's the problem. They've been playing high ground so much, and that swap off of the Life Weaver means you don't have that same presence on high ground. There goes out the Kitsune Rush alongside the lava everywhere, and Skittleforks is walking straight through it. They haven't been able to pop out the attempted shatter just yet, and they have to pop their shield just to stay alive through this. The shield will be popped. Say goodbye to Skittleforks. 30 seconds left. We're in final fight territory, and Krillers only have 2 ticks.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be tough. Like, the Reinhardt is most likely just a comfort pick for Skittleforks here, but you don't have a target to run. You have a target to run on here, but by the time you make it to the cast or the Torb, they're going to be rotated somewhere else, most likely.
Oh, Pizza Hut's already had to pop out that attempt of staying alive. They have, and they've actually popped that Pulse Bomb off the back of a very well-timed sleep. Nano into Skittleforks, but nobody's playing anywhere near them. Somehow, they will help to find Mimic, and at least something starting to go the way of the Short Bus. That should very well be the cap. It is indeed. A questionable attempt at holding there as Short Bus gets a little bit too big for their britches, but at least for right now, they will cap.
And RG just casually getting 2 kills, 3 kills. Do I hear 4?
Spawn door touch after giving up a cap? I mean, Necrise has done something stupid already in the last 30 seconds or so. Let's see if they could double it up. Probably not, but they are still on about 40% HP. Yeah, they'll back away. Took them a little while, but it's okay. He just hit 2 headshots from 40 meters away. Did I see that right?
It did appear to be that.
Onto a tracer?
It appeared to be that.
Check his PC. Nope.
Yeah, you know, it's just a better gaming chair than I have, for sure.
I gotta be. I mean, Necrise is doing whatever the heck they're doing to Gamer. And now Meteor Strike popped. Toxic Sunrise popped as well. How much do they find? Doesn't seem like all that much, and unfortunately, it seems like Necrise jumped away from the Suzu, but they didn't need any help with it. They'll survive. And at the end of the day, Krillers nearly get team killed. 90 seconds left on the time bank. In 60 seconds, they've moved 35 meters. That's not good.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Again, I don't think Skittleforks has used this shatter yet.
What?
I could be mistaken.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, like that's... And again, it's just because there's not a good target for you to run at as Reinhardt. All these people are just going to get away from you.
And even if you try and go after them, they could just either A, dodge it, B, avoid it as soon as they're picked up from the shattering position, or C, they'll have enough team support to keep them alive. Necrise decides to backline while the rest of the team's being encroached upon. It seems like they finally got the memo, hey, we need help, you're kind of playing the tank. But how much does it end up costing them? The answer right now, very little. Ready will die to energy again. Everybody seemingly just take a drink at this point. I don't know how Skittleforks is still alive. For a few seconds they won't be. There's the falling right click from NRG. It seems like gravity is indeed a Cassidy's friend. And the damage... What? I have no words. That's my whole job. I have no words.
That was a really nice flick, honestly. What, you've never hit one of those just stupid hard flicks to your left when you see somebody just out the corner of your eye?
No. I am mechanically bad at the game. Intellectually, I'm a genius, but I'm a Counter-Strike player. So I've done it in Counter-Strike, but I just haven't done it in Overwatch. Everybody's head hitbox is either too small or they're Orisa, and they survive through everything I've done. Deadeye popped. NRG just kills Gamer because they can. It's just NRG at this point. Will anybody touch? That's the real question. The answer, yes, but for only a few seconds, and they'll end up dying to Dinks' ultimate. Say goodbye to the second point. It is the biggest statement we've seen in the CGL maybe thus far. Short Bus show you why they've only lost one map in the season. They just barely even lost a point on this map itself. They'll go up 2-0 in the first of 3 series.
Yeah, I mean, on the plus side, the shatter does come out from the side of Krillers.
Finally!
You know, it's just
6.5
tough.
minutes.
It is tough to find somebody to shatter on this team. Like, when everybody's just constantly running away from you, it's just difficult. And I know I'm a Ryan man. I don't play him anymore, but he is my most played hero.
I wasn't kidding. I think 80% of my time in Overwatch is spent on soldiers. Yeah. You can do with that information what you may. But yeah, Skittleforks' defense was honestly pretty good. The problem is, the only time they were finding kills were kind of inconsequential kills towards the end of fights that were already gone. You could see the numbers. Honestly, the numbers at the end of things will speak for themselves. But Deadeye popped only a couple times for Gamer. They found very little consequential with it. NRG is just mechanically more gifted than anybody in this lobby, and it's not even close. I think to call it a competition would be a disservice to NRG because of most of the fact that these skills are his highlights. This is just an NRG highlight reel, and our producer's doing it for free. Honestly, we should start charging NRG for this stuff.
Oof.
That's still nuts.
Yeah, you know, Cass is one of the most satisfying heroes to play in Overwatch, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite DPSs to play personally.
What?
So I always have a good time with that.
47 elims, 30 final blows, 46 for Necry's, 18 final blows, and you only did about an extra 1,600 damage than your tank. I feel like these stats are either A, lying to me, or B, just way too inflated for NRG, who found way too many final blows. That's nuts. That's just objectively insane.
So I'm going to shout out again. Shout out to the support line here from the side of Short Bus. Look at all that Alari damage coming through.
Yeah.
When your Alari's hitting shots like that, you're going to find a lot more kills on that Doomfist slam because people are going to be under half HP when you're just landing near them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to be in one-shot territory for NRG constantly. So if NRG hits that one shot consistently, which is what we just saw in that highlight reel, we were just seeing one shot dead, one shot dead, one shot dead. A lot of that is going to be because your supports are doing so much damage as well.
So we didn't talk about the stat line for most of Krillers, and here's why. When you have somebody who plays the same hero for about 80% of the game, and yet finds almost literally 4 times as many eliminations, and quite literally 4 times as many eliminations per 10 minutes, and then 20 or 30% more damage done per 10 minutes, and 1/4 of the deaths per 10 minutes. If I was to sum up the word insanely better, or the words, I suppose, insanely better, it would just be this graphic. That's it. That would be on Merriam-Webster dictionary right now. It's
I thought
nuts.
you were about to come up with a word that was insanely better. Like it was just one word. I thought that's what you were about to do.
No, I'm not that good. Unfortunately, I don't have my thesaurus with me. Left that at home. I'll have to go get that one. In the meantime, while I go find my thesaurus and maybe come up with some fun words, we're going to take a break. When we come back, our third map, and hopefully a first map victory for the Krillers, else we'll have some more 3 Overwatch here on CGL.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the series is still going. 2-0 for Short Bus through 2 maps of play, and 3 Overwatch seems to be more than on the cards if that dominance continues. On time delay, that right there is Shadowfang. Welcome back to Friday Night Overwatch, and a very dominant start for a team that could very well end this season undefeated. They've started it, they've continued with it, and here they could very well close it in 3-0 fashion.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, so far, Short Bus is just looking like they have a better understanding of how to play multiple comps and multiple different heroes. So far, the only hero I've seen any sort of struggle on is Dink's struggling a little bit with that Reaper character. And Reaper is tougher than he appears at first glance. Seems like it's just, you know, shotgun, walk forward, do things, but it's like, no, there's a little bit more nuance to the character than that. It's kind of like Reinhardt. There's a little bit more nuance to the character than what it looks like.
We also saw them have some difficulties on the Mauga, at least for a decent bit of Samoa, but luckily I don't think they're going to have to worry about that all that much. We'll take a look at the maps we've seen already and the maps we may very well see to close out this series. As of right now, New Junk City is the only guaranteed map that has yet to be played. That'll be our third. We're headed to Flashpoint next. Esperanza is afterwards, again, should it be required, and should the reverse sweep almost, at least fully, come to fruition, we will head to Havana to close out this series. But for the time being, a very dominant Hollywood, a closer Samoa than we were kind of expecting, but because it is, we'll say, an uncommon map, a lot of the times those uncommon maps are a lot closer than otherwise. Also, the more common maps are very close. It's those in between that could go very one way or the other, like we saw in Hollywood.
Yeah, and another thing with Control tends to just kind of be close because teams are really forced to fight on one point for the whole time.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of forced to run into each other, and what better hero to do that with than Maga? You know, just run into me as Maga, please. Let me do that. And also, just for a note, Krillers bringing Wavy Creature back in for Pizza Hut. You know, Pizza Hut got their time to shine last map. You know, they did get some nice kills here and there, but with Wavy coming back in, I'm partially expecting the Mei to make a resurgence here, but could we even see a Junker Queen composition? You see right here, Krillers likes these two heroes, Gamer and Wavy, put Genji and Sojourn as their two favorite heroes, and that is very commonly used in that Jotes composition.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we're not going to see a Mei here. I'm not going to lie to you. The main issue for them is not being able to play anything alongside what you'd want to see as maybe a Tracer or alongside anything else as a Mei. You could run Sojourn Mei, which was basically the token composition when Overwatch 2 was officially released. But since then, we haven't seen it as much. It's Sojourn plus something else, usually, or Mei plus something else. Not really them combined, which I have to say I'm a little disappointed about. But as somebody who had to watch way too much Sojourn and Mei, I'm not complaining all that much.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I'd like to see Sojourn Genji, but something tells me Krillers is going to come out and force this Maga composition again, because that was their strongest look so far, and this is a map where you can definitely force that look if that's the way you want to go.
So moving into a map like New Junk City, it's arguably the more played of the two. I've seen New Junk City a lot more than I have Saravasa, but also I've been in isolated parts where it is kind of restricted map pools. Some teams favor one over the other, some teams don't care for either, some teams love both, other teams just hate Flashpoint's idea in general. Where do you stand on this, and do you think there's any resurgency availability for the Krillers?
I've actually tended to see Saravasa way more often than I've seen New Junk City when it's loser picks, right?
Okay.
So that tends to be the map that teams seem to like more often than not. And like I said, I would not be surprised to see a strong fight from Krillers here.
Well, the Krillers already starting off well. We did have an OBS crash issue, hence the reason we missed the early part of this fight, but the TLDRs, Energy, and Dinks died early. Necrise, that's their first death, but the Krillers are indeed bringing out that Mei and Sojourn. Ironically enough, it's Gamer playing the Sojourn and Wavy Creature picking up the Mei, as we saw them do so early. But the issue is Energy is still having their way with really anybody they feel they need to do so with, and they're building up that Pulse Bomb much quicker than maybe expected. Here comes Necrise for the second time. They will pin that Reinhardt back in the small room to the side. They'll go low and die. It will be Krillers to cap first, but not too much done afterwards.
And yeah, I mean, the really bad part here, if you're the side of Krillers, you need Ready to be building that coalescence a lot faster than they are. The whole reason you play Moira over a hero like Kiriko or Bap or Ana is because of building coalescence so fast. Ugh.
Say goodbye to your coalescence that was trying to be built by the end of this point. I mean, with that speed, NRG has just found 3 final blows in the span of like 8 seconds. Ready drops the alright in chat, and you can't really blame him for it. That is a statement if I've ever seen one in a fight like that.
Yeah, you see Gamer coming out on this Torbjorn. Yeah, we gotta have something to deal with NRG on this Tracer. Mirroring the Dinks Torbjorn as well. Can we see a hammer fight? Just a hammer 1v1 on next point?
I have actually casted a full tournament that was just Torb Hammer 1v1s. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen, and to this day I still want to do it again. Counterpin there, but how quickly do they touch the point? If they touch the point at all. They have about 4 seconds to get there, if the time is going to go their way at all, and they won't. Somehow, they basically win an entire fight, yet don't get close enough to the point. That is just a disaster.
And that's what some really strong aggression can get you if you're the side of Short Bus. Yes, you end up trading your life out at the end of it, but you push them so far into their own spawn, they weren't even able to touch, even though they beat you.
So we're headed to the refinery for this second point. Krillers would arguably have a better time of things considering the enclosed nature. Same thing over towards the Ducks, should that become a point we play. But as of right now, Short Bus just seemed mechanically better, and that has been the case throughout most of this season. It's the reason they're currently 6-0. Boostio almost walked in to what was a fairly good Meteor Strike and a good Life Grip. Finally, we're seeing the Life Weaver find some efficacy. Sound Barrier thrown alongside the Coalescence. Krillers are just trying to press Q, but they're not finding a heck of a lot with it, and that's their main problem. Even with the Sound Barrier, Boostio is somehow the first one still to fall. Wavy Creature inside the lava will go down just the same. And again, the Krillers will cap first and then do basically nothing afterwards. I'm getting an alarming amount of deja vu here, Shadow.
I mean, honestly, right there, Boostio just gets caught out by Necrise. Boostio sees the potential kill onto Ricky, tries to dive that Kiriko, as we saw in the kill cam, but then Necrise just simply, all they have to do is just land back with a slam, punch, boom, you get the kill onto Boostio, and you're just going to pretty much instantly win the fight after that, because Krillers is going to rotate over just a little bit late.
They tried to catch out NRG, who was able to blink past him. Oh, nope, they recall back into things. Never mind. They did catch out NRG, so that's at least a step in the right direction. A Doomfist backline. They almost catch out Ready, but they can't actually find the kill. And NRG, now gone, trying to involve themselves in all chat, hopefully trying to distract their opponents while everybody gets encroached upon. The Kiriko joining alongside the Doomfist. Is Shortbus trolling? What am I watching?
I don't know. This is one of the games of all time, for sure.
It's at least one of the maps of all time.
Right now. I don't know what's going on right now. I gotta be honest with you. Everybody's just all over the place.
So Necrise thinks holding up that power block is going to do something against a turret. It really just delayed what is the unnecessary inevitable and gave gamers some free ult charge if they weren't already at the check mark. Now, Shortbus has basically given up 40% and a point cap for absolutely nothing, I might add. And now they're trying to jump in. They'll take out the turret at least. Trying to build up to that Meteor Strike, though. In the backline, they're finding out Gamer. Damage done, but nothing consequential. They need to build up a couple more cooldowns or go hunting for a health pack, and they do so on both of those endeavors. But as of right now, Shortbus is basically isolated from their tank. Somehow Dinks is still alive as a Kitsune Rush is thrown out in the middle of things. And that Shatter lands onto Ricky. So finally, Skittleforks has found a successful Shatter on the Reinhardt. They go hunting for a Life Weaver, and they get elevated instead. Necrise has found Unready in the backline, and it's a Tor 1v1, just not with the hammer. Speaking of a hammer, there's the Reinhardt to win the fight. And it's the Tree of Life in the middle of the point to give Shortbus cap of it. Krillers have somehow lost that. I am so confused. What is going on? This is why New Junk City isn't played.
I don't really understand what's happening right now. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Everybody's just kind of going all over the place and just doing stuff. Shortbus does burn both of their support ults in that last fight. They are going to have their other 3 ults online. Watch out for NRG here. NRG has been really sick with these pulse bombs. I would not be surprised to see them get another
Please
one
touch.
here. Hold on.
Please, somebody touch. Oh no, they counterpinned, nobody touched. We've seen this again. The Krillers had an arguable chance to get there, but they didn't seem to have any sense of urgency, and they just don't get there in time. Now we're fighting in the neutral. Next flashpoint seems to be on the other side of the map, so that's important to say the very least. We're headed to not bomb flats. We're headed out to the junkyard, and yet everybody's still fighting on the southwest side of the map as it stands. Nobody seems to realize, hey, in 15 seconds, a point 150 meters away is going to unlock. That's not important or anything, as Krillers are in a full reverse sweep scenario, not only of this map, but of the series as a whole.
And I mean, not to mention, Mimic is just chilling back there on point, so like that's going to be an easy cap here in 1 second.
App will go their way first. NRG waiting for another recall, and yet a blink has found them yet another health pack, a wall from distance. Boostio's still alive, but again, we are still fighting over 100 meters from the point. Finally, we've reached inside the triple-digit margin, but NRG finally will die. It only took about 40 seconds of fighting outside the direct point pressure for that to happen. And in the meantime, all this cap has gone Shortbus's way. It seems like they'll give away some real estate for possibly some team resurgence. Better Suzu, though, as a good pin was there, and finally cap will go to Krillers. I'm still so confused.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what's going on either. Wavy Creature gets the kill onto Dinks there. NRG takes out him ready again, though.
I mean, luckily Dinks falls, so at least something is mitigated in that process. Good wall to try and keep Wavy Creature alive, but everybody else on Shortbus falls. And Wavy Creature, yeah, you're between a rock, a hard place, and an odd place icicle. So yeah, Krillers will find 40% and change, but what do they do afterwards? Again, surprising nobody, nothing.
And all I gotta say too, Energy took out both supports in that last fight. I mean, that's just massive value coming out of your Tracer. Even with Krillers having 5 ults here, I still am not sure how they take this fight because there's just not an easy target for you to take here.
They've got 4 check marks. That's at least something to go their way. Gamers just took about 80% of their health from a pulse bomb that didn't even stick onto them. So something started to go their direction. Deadeye popped as well, and they helped to walk through, but a power block denies that and will allow them to sustain through alongside that Kitsune rush. The healing's still very much there, even with Mimic not involved, and Gamer's actually the first one to fall for Krillers. OT is popped, as is the cap there for the Krillers, so something's starting to go their direction, but that Coalescence finds nothing but hydrogen and oxygen, aka thin air, and the backline's starting to collapse. The Blizzard will be thrown through, but the Meteor Strike to avoid it, and yes, again, the cap is still there, but there goes the Meteor Strike on top of Skittlefork, saying goodbye to Boostio, and that will indeed do it. Cap will go the direction of Short Bus. The overtime wick will not be very long for this world, and it will be Short Bus not only 3-0 on the series, but 3-0 here on New Junk City. There's apparently a reason. It's the least played Flashpoint map of the 2. Short Bus will take it.
Yeah, that was one of the most scuffed maps I think I've ever seen in my life. That was... I don't even know what that was.
I think I had
to be
gray
honest
hairs.
with you. That looked like one of my ranked games, actually. That's what that looked like. It's reminded me exactly of one of my ranked games. Everybody fighting 200 meters from the point.
I still can't believe they took like a 25-second fight that far away from a point that had just ended, by the way. They don't think, hey, we may be able to be counter-capped here or counter-pinned here to try and deny a touch for overtime. On 2 separate occasions, Short Bus was just playing prevent defense on a zone outside the point itself, and it worked on both occasions. And the Krillers, I don't know, just didn't learn. I lost years off my life. That's where I'm at right now. 22 final blows for NRG, by the way. Not leading the server this time, but certainly close to it. This time led in damage over top of Necrise. I think the stats speak for themselves. That's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, just really strong performance from both sides, honestly. And you can even look, the supports again, I keep pointing them out, but look at how much damage Ricky is doing on that Kiriko. That's a lot of damage coming out of your Kiriko.
You can see in back-to-back games it's a lack of healing for the supports of that side of Short Bus, but they really didn't need to do all that much healing because they weren't doing all that much dying. The total tally will put the deaths for the team at 19 in a full 5-map or a 3-pointer of Flashpoint. You can see the eliminations per 10 for Ricky, twice the amount. Final blows almost 5 times the amount, or over 5 times the amount. Damage done was much higher. In all fairness, they did do less healing, so something notable there. But this is a Kiriko versus a Moira, where you'd expect the Moira to just be doing more damage, at least through and through. Deaths per 10 minutes, you can see that number on its own. This is just an insane showing, individually by the members of Short Bus, but also as a team. Those individual numbers are great. Usually don't win you games, but when the individual numbers are applicable to the entire squad, you see what happens.
Well, I mean, and that's part of playing a dive comp as well.
Yeah.
You want your tank, you want your DPS, you want your supports to all be on the same target because that's how they die. Doomfist by themselves does not really do enough damage to kill somebody, right? When you got the Doomfist, you got the Tracer, you got the Kiriko, you got the Lucy, all of them just putting in their little chip damage here and there, you're getting a lot of kills that way, and that's what really secured Short Bus their victory on maps 2 and 3 in particular.
Yeah, and map 3, individual points themselves were fairly close, but A, the way they ended, and B, the map as a whole just wasn't close. It was kind of applicable back to Samoa, where the points were fairly contentious, but just it seemed like at every single juncture, the closeout was very much there for Short Bus. And you have to point out, it was a completely different game that they were playing. They were diving and diving and diving, and we saw attempted dives from Krillers, but most of them either A, fell flat, B, were completely countered, or C, were just completely avoided because the movement abilities or movement prowess on the other side was just too much for them to deal with. They would use too many cooldowns to get there and would do nothing after that. Before we throw things over to the desk, though, any final thoughts from you here, Shadow?
I just want to say Short Bus, their pathing was incredible. Their setups for their dives were also incredible. Just really strong dive play, and it's my favorite comp to watch when it's played correctly. So I love that from the side of Short Bus. Best of luck to both teams for the rest of their season.
Well, it was very much played correctly, alongside the fact that they're just objectively mechanically skilled. NRG doing the atrocities to the opposing side we saw in Hollywood. I think we needed to put like an age limit on this stream just for that graphic content on Hollywood. The Cassidy was insane, but that's the individual prowess as the difference maker. We're going to step away. We're going to send things over to the desk, break down the rest of the series, and close things out. Thanks for joining us.
There's a stranger among us. All right. Looks like we're just gonna play musical chairs here on the desk. We are back with you here. All of our Preds 100% accurate. For once, we don't have a Dextrate air ball on the desk. Give yourself a round of applause, desk.
You can't.
What are thoughts? Nice. What's give us some thoughts on that match. First impressions, Joker. You're chomping at the bit. What you got for me?
There's the energy show all day long. Oh my goodness, this man was incredible on anything they really picked up on the DPS role here.
Yeah, no doubts. Follow up, Ray. Looking at you. What are your thoughts?
Look, man, I've been the Short Bus fanboy, standboy. Every single one of these players, I mean, they had some times where, they were definitely acting, silly and doing some silly things, but when, it came down to it and things needed to, happen, they just absolutely dominated. Krillers had no room to breathe, and I think this series just shows you why this team is undefeated and has only dropped one map this entire season thus far with 1 week to go in the regular season.
Well, Headribber, I know when we were talking just before we came live, you were saying after the Samoa that we're seeing on our screen right now, you started to get a little nervous. What did Krillers do right? What mistakes did they capitalize on? How were they able to at least take one sub-map, and then what went so terribly wrong?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when I first saw the Samoa map happen, as it was happening, it was like, uh-oh, have I cursed my prediction? Because honestly, Krillers came out of the gate really doing well overall.
Yeah.
One of the things with the Malga comp is obviously the Malga comp isn't like super mechanically intensive, but it is pretty important in that kind of brawl and that macro gameplay, which it really seems like Krillers do have. And unfortunately, they weren't able to clutch out in the end. I think a lot of the experience on Short Bus and some really good plays on the side of a few of their players kind of like led to them clutching that map up. But when it went on to maps like Hollywood and New Junk City, those maps kind of go a lot more into the types of comps that Short Bus really enjoys playing. The comps that are either really mobile or playing that hit scan, and where they're just so mechanically insanely talented. Which unfortunately was no longer taking that Malga mirror where it's more macro based, and that does make things a bit more difficult for them.
Once we saw Necrise go over to the Doomfist, it was pretty much lights out from there. It seemed like Short Bus really put it into 6th gear and left Krillers in the dust at that point. We were talking during the match. Necrise kind of has an all-in style, kind of has this, may look like they're feeding at times, but some other times it works out really well, and even if they go down, sometimes they get the win. Joker, what are your thoughts on Necrise during this match? Why is the Doom so good? Like, why does they look so good on that Doomfist?
I think it's I feel like it can draw a comparison to the 2019 Vancouver Titans with Necrise's style of gameplay. It really is kind of reminiscent of Bumper, how the rest of Vancouver played around him. You saw Bumper go on these incredible very advantageous plays, these flanks, trying to get those opening picks, but when they go down, the rest of the team is able to stabilize and pick up the slack that is the missing of the tank player, and still be able to find the picks off the back of it. Especially in Overwatch 2, it kind of is really crucial to have your tank still in the mix of things, to be that front line, and having the rest of your team and being able to be, be confident in the rest of your squad being able to find picks without you is really beneficial, and that seems like Necrise knows that what they can get away with this team.
So when you have a feed strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it feels like the kind of composition that you can absolutely dominate in a game where you know you have the upper hand and you're just going to continue to snowfall. We even saw it in the midseason grand finals when, because they're both in the console and the PC division, when they played Last Dinosaur. We casted that, Jeff, and they stuck way more meta. Like they were much more to what's the good comps, what's the main thing most people are running. And I think when push comes to shove, like when they meet some of those bigger teams, Sea Demons, Red Team, stuff like that, they're probably going to stick more to the narrow and neat and what is meta. But in a game like this, you can see just how powerful a composition can be like this under the right circumstances.
Well, you're talking about having trust in your teammates. When you have a player who's popping off like NRG does, and did today's match, oh my goodness, it's easy to trust that the team is going to be there to follow up, even if you go down, be it on the Doom or even on the Maga. NRG had, just an insane day. I think unanimously our MVP of the match here on the desk. I wrote down some of these stats. Let me just throw some of these back to back at you. We're gonna go ahead and just skip over to Hollywood. 47-4 with 30 final blows. You jump down, you go into New Junk City, was 22-5 with 8.5K damage, 5 pulse bombs there on New Junk City. I think something that might have got overlooked a little bit, where everybody else had 2 and 3 ultimates. NRG came through with 5 pulses. Just the amount of actions per minute this gamer was putting out was absolutely nuts. Thoughts on this? Headrummer, I go to you. Is NRG just the best DPS in this tier? Like, holy cow, what a performance.
Yeah, he did all right. No, he definitely he definitely took over that series on the DPS. There's a lot of talk going around that he might be one of the best controller DPS we have right now on console. Obviously console is oftentimes overrun with a lot of cheaters, but NRG is controller, plays extremely well, has a wide hero pool, and hitting some nasty shots.
Dude, that flick on Hollywood. That flick on Hollywood on a gamer, that was nuts. That was don't often use the DPS gap kind of termage, but that was pretty indicative right there. That one moment seemed to encapsulate it.
But at the same time, sorry to interrupt, Joker, but at the same time, his team is making so much space for him. That is another thing that Doomfist we talked about does such a good job of. The Doomfist forces so much attention from the enemy team. Just if you don't look at him, he's gonna punch you into the wall and he's gonna make you sad. And the Doomfist can absorb so many reinforcements by just standing there blocking. But during this time, the DPS and short boss are just pew 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 all around and without nearly as much pressure.
So
Joker, you had another thought on that?
Yeah, so I was gonna say with what you were, who is the best console DPS player in this tier right now? I think it has to be either NRG right now or Hopeful. I think it's really the only two that we can that I can currently think of that are at that like S tier level of DPS player right now.
Or Beastman too, but who's on the same team.
Yeah.
Oh. And not to just completely grade over that point, Header, because you're absolutely right. We saw a lot of times NRG was able to have access to Boostio in the backline, was just haunting the backline, whether on the Tracer or on the Genji, even with the Cass. And a lot of it, you're sitting there looking at it going, where's the peel? Where's the peel? Like, it's just free kills here. And 100%, there's so much space has been created by the team, and Krillers have to focus on what Necrise is doing and what the rest of the team is doing, that just looks like free real estate there for NRG. So definitely a fantastic point there. Ray, any thoughts on our MVP tonight? What impressed you the most?
I mean, it was the flexibility and the dominance you can have on so many different types of heroes. And then the fact that we saw on New Junk City where he is sitting there occupying 2 people the entire time. He had the Lucio and the Mei just completely away from their team to where they had to get the Cassidy to come over just to kill him. And the rest of the team was just able to dominate the point. Like, sometimes you don't even need Necrise to draw the attention away. He draws the attention away himself.
Yeah. Just demand it. You have to. As I said, otherwise you just get punched in the face. And Krillers certainly got punched in the mouth tonight. No big upsets. All our Preds came true. And it is Short Bus walking away with yet another 3-0. Still only 1 map dropped in the entirety of this season. That's in 7 weeks. They've only dropped 1 map. And apparently that was just This is some silliness. We saw a little bit of silliness on Ninja City tonight, but they're still able to 3-0 it. But that is going to do it here for this week's Friday Night Overwatch. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Keep an eye out. Next week, we will return. We'll have EU matches and NA matches. What I believe is the final week of the regular season.
Yes.
Remember, is that correct? There you go.
Correct.
There you go. The final
Lots
week
of scenarios to get into next week.
What's that one more time?
Lots of scenarios to get into next week. For
Oh, yeah.
playoffs.
It's going to be a good one. Maybe we talk about starting 15 minutes early. Give us a little time to go over some of these
maybe turn a
scenarios.
game into Can the Deaths Do Math? Live on stage.
Oh, let's not do that. Let's not do that. That sounds like a bad game. That sounds like a bad game. Oh, well, thank y'all so much once again for hanging out with us. Big shout out to our producer, Hippie, our observer, Poofy. Excuse me. And then Henry was actually playing double duty, was working stats and doing behind the scenes stuff tonight. So, thank you for that as well. Appreciate it. Also, Ray and Joker, and well, from myself, we're all signing off. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week for more Friday Night Overwatch.
Bye.